April 14th, 1912, 11:40 p.m. Lookout Frederick Fleet spots the iceberg a little earlier. First Officer Murdoch manages to give the order, and the Titanic safely disengages from the deadly ice floe. No panic, no lifeboats, no door with too little room for two. A few days later, the greatest liner in history triumphantly arrives in New York. Jack and Rose are alive. They disembark together. It would seem like a happy ending. The credits roll, and Celine Dion sings her signature song. But the reality of the early 20th century is not a Hollywood movie. What awaits a spoiled aristocrat and an impoverished artist in harsh New York? Can their three-day love survive poverty, World War I, and the Great Depression? Today we will rewrite the history of cinema. And believe me, what awaited them on the shore is far more dramatic than any iceberg. So, they go to the pier. Jack has $20 he won in poker and a folder of drawings in his pocket. Rose has nothing but the dress she's wearing and the heart of the ocean necklace, which remained in Cal's coat pocket. The first problem is Cal Hockley and Rose's mother, Ruth. The Titanic didn't sink, which means the influential suitor is alive, furious, and has money. Rose understands that if they are found, Jack will be sent to prison on false charges of stealing the diamond after all. Cal had already done that on the ship, and she will be forcibly returned to her family or committed to a mental hospital. This forces them to flee to the slums. They rent a tiny, windowless room in Greenwich Village. Let's be honest, Rose DeWitt Bukater has never washed clothes, cooked, or known what it was like to have rats in a building. The first few months are a shock. Romance quickly crumbles against the reality of everyday life. But Rose didn't give up on the ship, and she won't give up now. To survive, does she sell the heart of the ocean? No. She's afraid the stone is too famous. They hide it. It was this stone that would play a fateful role in their lives 10 years later. But more on that later. Rose gets a job in a textile factory. Jack scrapes by with odd jobs. As a longshoreman at the docks, painting portraits for pennies. Their relationship is tested. Quarrels arise over fatigue and hunger. But here, for the first time, Rose feels the freedom she dreamed of. She is no longer a doll in a shop window. Two years pass. The year 1914 is coming. Jack Dawson is a talented artist. In real history, at this time, the Ashcan School is gaining momentum in New York City. Artists who painted the harsh reality of poverty and the streets. This is 100% Jack's style. Jack meets real historical figures, like the artist George Bellows. His drawings of Parisian prostitutes and New York workers begin to sell to newspapers. He begins to earn his first steady income. And what about Rose? Remember how she said in the film, "I could have been an actress or a dancer." New York is the perfect place. She begins performing in small, independent theaters in Greenwich Village. Her aristocratic manners and natural audacity make her an avant-garde star. They become part of the New York bohemian scene. They are young, they are rebels. It seems they have beaten the system. But in 1917 the United States enters World War I. Jack is 25 years old. He qualifies for the draft and goes to France, into the thick of things, the Argonne forests. Rose remains in America. In the film, we saw that she can fly airplanes, ride a horse, and isn't afraid of the mud. In our alternate history, Rose joins the Red Cross and goes to Europe as a nurse. She wants to be closer to Jack. Here we have a plot worthy of remark. An artist accustomed to seeing the beauty of the world now depicts the horrors of the trenches. It is in war that terrible things happen. Jack is wounded, possibly gas poisoning, a common occurrence, and ends up in the hospital. She finds him. He survives, but returns home with PTSD. That carefree guy from the Titanic, shouting "I'm the king of the world," forever remained in 1912. A broken, grown man returns home. (1920s), the age of jazz, prohibition, and crazy money. Jack and Rose moved to Paris like many artists of the lost generation. Hemingway, Fitzgerald. Jack paints dark but brilliant pictures. Rose cuts her hair short, smokes from a cigarette holder, and acts in early silent films. But the past catches up with them. In the year 1925, Cal Hockley appears at an exhibition in Paris. Cal has aged, but he's still fabulously wealthy. He sees Jack's painting in a gallery and recognizes Rose in it. He tracks them down, their most important meeting since the Titanic occurs. Cal expects to see a down-and-out beggar who regrets her choice, but he sees a strong, independent woman and a renowned artist. Cal threatens to report the heart of the ocean diamond to the police. And then Rose does what she should have done long ago. She takes out the diamond, throws it at Cal's feet, and says, "You can have this stone, Cal, but you could never buy me." A perfect movie moment, wouldn't you agree? October 24th, 1929. The Great Depression hits. From the original film, we know the historical fact. Cal Hockley lost all his millions in the Wall Street crash and shot himself in the head. The presence of Jack and Rose wouldn't have saved him from greed. And what about our heroes? The Depression hit everyone. Jack's paintings stopped selling, theaters closed. They had to tighten their belts again. But do you know the difference? For rich people like Cal, losing money meant the end of their lives. But for Jack and Rose, it was just another adventure. They knew how to survive without a cent in their pockets. They moved to Santa Monica. Jack painted the sea, and Rose bred horses and taught children clay modeling. Their life was no fairy tale. It didn't have endless romance. There were quarrels, war, hunger, and fear. They had children. They grew old. But if you had asked Rose at the end of her life if she regretted the Titanic's sinking, she would have answered, "They called that ship unsinkable." But the truly unsinkable wasn't a hunk of iron, but a guy in third class who won a poker ticket and saved me. Not from the water, from myself. What do you think of this scenario? Tell us in the comments if you believe Jack and Rose's love would have survived poverty and war, or if Rose would have run away back to her mother after a month of living in the slums. I'll read and upvote the most interesting theories. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel more. Alternative histories of your favorite films are coming.